Hey there, this is Frank Klesitz, the CEO of Vyral Marketing, and thank you for joining me. This is going to be an in-depth interview with Hawaii's #1 selling real estate team. You'll meet Adrienne and Attilio with Team Lally, Adrienne Lally. And they've been clients at Vyral Marketing for quite some time. Wonderful, wonderful team. Do some incredibly powerful things with expert positioning and marketing to help with their lead generation. I believe last year you guys had down that they sold over 172 houses last year. And much of that has come from by positioning themselves very quickly and scaling up very quickly as like the preeminent expert in the marketplace. So as opposed to chasing business, what you might have to do when you start off, they very quickly were able to reinvest their time and reinvest their earnings into marketing, specifically database, education-based marketing in many ways to get people to call them or at least make it easier. So when they reached out to people, they knew who they were. And the goal of today is to interview them, to ask some good questions for your audience watching this, to figure out what they did, and more importantly, the mindset they had. So you too can kind of swipe and deploy some of the tactics into your real estate business. Or if you're not in real estate and your professional service firm, because so much of this stuff applies no matter really what profession you're at. Look for the key principles that make sense. Well, the tactics may be different. The principles remain the same. All right. So if you'd like what we're going to cover today, if you want to maybe get a foundation, if you're not familiar with Vyral Marketing, what we do, or the marketing plan that we teach to help you get more business from your #1 asset, which is your database. It's your past clients. It's your centers of influence. If you're real estate agents, the homeowners you have in your database, maybe it's your unconverted leads. What are you doing to stay in touch with those people? By publishing helpful educational videos, which we recommend. And we cover that in the official video marketing plan. You can go to our homepage, getvyral.com, VYRL. Go to our homepage. When you pull it up, there'll be a big orange link right there that says download our official video marketing plan. You can get a copy. It's about 20 pages. It's the plan that started the results that you're going to hear from Adrienne, Attilio, David, Team Lally, about how they're selling lots of houses and love doing it and doing it in a way that brings them some joy, as opposed to having to chase and hunt down strangers all the time, which they've been able to move quite considerably away from. So with that, let's get into the interview. Adrienne and Attilio, welcome. Say hello.
Thank you, Frank, for having us. And aloha, everybody.
Yes.
Aloha.
Thanks and aloha.
All right. So there's a lot we could start with here. I think which is kind of very interesting, you two, is just why don't you just share really quickly, what did you both do professionally before getting into real estate, and what year did you guys get into real estate?
So I got into real estate in 2003. That's when I first got licensed in 2004. I was taking my class 2003, and I was actually active duty Army. Hawaii was my first duty station, and I was a 98 Charlie, which I don't think they have that MOS anymore. But it's an early signals warning analysis. And so I was analyzing data and looking for bad guys. So that's what I did before the military, or before real estate.
And how did you get into real estate?
How did I get into real estate?
Yeah.
Well, I grew up actually in the real estate industry. My mom was a broker for a long time. So I felt real familiar with it, but I always swore that I wouldn't do it, because it just, the way that, her business was and her life was, it seems to be pretty chaotic. And she actually invited me to come and work with her and take over her business one day. And I told her, I said, no, Mom, I'd rather go join the Army and go, fight in the war than to go and do real estate. So, that was in Florida, and I'm grateful that I had a mindset shift and gave real estate a try after getting out of the military.
And 13, 14 years later, you're pretty darn successful at it. And
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you guys questions about specifically how you started off and then how you started building and working a database, because that's what the audience wants to know here watching this one. Let me hear from you, man. What did you do before real estate? I'm just curious again.
What's that?
What did you do?
What did I do before real estate? I actually stepped out of my mom's womb as a real estate salesperson, so I've done nothing else. No, that's not true. I like this question because it's one of those questions where, for the listener, they're trying to establish some type of connection. You know, hey, he has or she has a similar background. And if they can come from that to go do this and build a great team, then I certainly have the opportunity to do that ourselves. You know, I've always been in sales, you know, as far as like my background, college dropout. I was born and raised here in Hawaii, left to go to the mainland, lived there for about 15 years, moved back. Didn't have any real estate license, didn't know anything about selling real estate. I just was an appliance salesperson over at Sears selling washers and dryers. And I said, you know what, there's a real estate school across the street. I'm gonna go take that course. And I passed and I got my license, and I didn't do anything with it. Didn't do anything with it for a whole year. Now this is like 2006, and then I just have this awesome luck of starting my active real estate career in 2007, right during the worst real estate bubble ever. And what I decided at that point was, you know what, I'm gonna do what other people aren't doing. I don't have this huge marketing budget. I'm gonna work on short sales and or work with distressed homeowners and see if I can figure out a way to help them. And so, yeah, nothing special on my background. I didn't have an MBA, didn't work for a lot of corporate environments. Just a local boy born and raised here, and I decided, hey, let's try this real estate thing. That's me.
Well, it was a good decision.
Yeah.
That, you know, financially for you. You guys have sold over 1,000 homes in your career. You guys have partnered as a team. How did you guys, really quick, how did you guys meet to be teammates?
So I had a small group of military spouses, an assistant, and I think a buyer agent at the time. And Attilio was, I think you were like with another team, or you were like in between teams. And he had, like he was talking about, he was doing the short sales. So he got a referral for a listing that was not a short sale, and retired military on the golf course. And he just wasn't really so sure how to handle something like that. So he went to our broker at the time and asked who are the top 3 agents in the company. I need to partner up. And the other 2 agents, they were in the town office, and I was the one that was in Kapolei, which was close to where he lives. And so we partnered up on that first listing, and things went well. We worked very well together, and then we just decided to partner up. Yeah, because the synergy, so it's like not like 1 + 1 = 2. It was 1 + 1 = 3. So soon we just, between like the 2 of us, were able to just really increase the amount of listings that we're able to bring onto the team.
Well, so tell Frank or the listeners, so we went from like how many people when I came on board on the team?
Oh, so there was like 3 people. So it was me, an assistant, and a buyer agent. And then when Attilio came on, we hired a listing manager, because like I think I had 10, he had 10, and then
listings.
Yeah, so we had a total of 20. And just our one assistant did not feel like that they could handle that, as well as the escrows and marketing and everything. So we brought on a listing manager as well.
Fast forward to today, how many people on the team?
We're like at 26.
Yes, it was a 10 or 11 year overnight success.
Well, you guys sold over 1,000 homes in your career, 172 homes last year. Average price point of $550,000. That's quite nice in Hawaii. I think you pretty much, what's your tax rate out there? I think it's higher than California, isn't it?
Yeah, let's not talk about taxes right now. That's a sore subject.
Well, for those of you thinking about having an expansion team in Hawaii, Hawaii is ranked bottom for worst places to have a business.
We have this little thing called DET tax, and we get taxed on the gross commissions, not the net, the gross. And that's like,
and that's gross.
Yeah, it is. It just like grosses us out.
It is gross. Okay. So 100 homes year to date, right? So we're recording this pretty much at the beginning of September, let's say.
Yes.
And your business comes through about 33% past client referrals. Then you have do Zillow leads, you have radio ads you run, and internet leads is the other 2/3, which is great. Goal is about 300 transactions this year. What I want to start off with, and that just kind of gives everyone some context to the interview today, is I want to hear the story of how in the world you guys got started from scratch, and get me to the point where you realize, man, I'm missing out if I'm not building a database. And I want you to tell our listeners and convince our listeners today the importance of building and working a database and how you did it. So let's start off how you started off and what you thought and what you knew then. And let's work our way up to the story. I got to do some of this database.
Mm-hmm.
So Adrienne, let's start with you. Brand new agent, how do you get business?
Well,
How did you get business?
I was sitting floor duty in an office that had a lot of traffic, and then I was also answering calls. I was taking the calls and converting renter leads into buyers and just educating. A lot of the callers were military, and I was able to explain to them, this is how you use your BAH to build wealth. You shouldn't be renting, you should be buying. So I mean, I remember my first sale. I think he was like 18 or 19 years old in the Navy, and he had BAH. So like, he didn't know what he was doing. I didn't know what I was doing, but it was fine. We somehow figured out how to get him into a condo. And 2 years later, he ended up selling it, and he made like 40 grand, bought this brand new car. He was so excited. But I think it was just more like educating. And for me, I really focused on the military because I felt a really deep connection with the military, and I wanted to continue to serve the veterans. So that was my main focus when I was first starting out, was to really just become an expert in the VA loan and in the military, and just helping to educate them on how to build wealth. So with the military, how it works is that they're a very close-knit, tight community. And if you do a good job for, one person, in that command, they're going to be telling all of their other friends. And I remember I helped a warrant officer who was, a helicopter pilot. I helped him to go find a home, and then he just told all of his other pilot friends, no, you need to come and use my realtor. This is what she did. So it was, a lot of word of mouth and referrals starting out. However, as you progress through the business, you got to, continue to add more strategies to build and grow. We started out with the Buffini method.
So it was predominantly referral when you started.
Yeah.
Frank wants to, he's asking us that question. How do we start off? Because we didn't know anything of what we know today.
No.
Here's the good news for you listeners out there. I'll share with you how I got started. The good news is that you don't want to duplicate what we did in the beginning, because there's so many resources today. We didn't even know about the MEREA,
No, we didn't.
And then, tapping into guys like Frank.
Well,
but
MEREA, let's step back. That's the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book written by Gary Keller,
Yes.
which is an incredible book.
And so that's what I would tell a brand new agent today. So
Read that book.
I'll give it to you in 2 minutes how I got started. I didn't have a huge budget. I didn't know anybody. I had business cards, and all I knew was, my line was, hey, I would just go up to people and meet them everywhere, just anybody and anyhow. That's my personality. If that's your personality type, just meet a bunch of people, hand them a card, and I literally would say this: I'm brand new in the business. Anybody needs a hungry realtor, they might want to do business with me now before I'm in the business too long and I get lazy. And I'm as hungry about this business today as I am from day one. But the point being is, it was memorable, it was different, it made people laugh. That's my personality. And the referrals eventually started trickling in. But to get business like now, because that's what you need, is you need that now business to transition and start getting those commission checks rolling in. I just realized that there were a bunch of people out there facing foreclosure that needed help. So I started sending them letters. I literally would get the newspaper every morning, and I would send letters to everybody that had a foreclosure notice. And then on top of that, I would knock on their doors to see if they needed help. And so that was just something that I stumbled across, and it generated a bunch of leads, listings for me. And these were sellers. So it wasn't like I realized, as we know today, that you should focus on sellers. I didn't realize, as I know today, that you should have a strong call to action when you sent it out. It was just pure luck. But for the listeners listening now, instead of doing what we do, or take from it that even with pure luck and just stumbling around and hard work, we became successful. Today, if I'm a brand new agent with a brand new license, I go find a team with a lot of leads and generating and coaching and join that team. That's what I would do differently today.
I actually tried to go join a team, but there was no teams back when I started. I couldn't find any.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. I just, you know, you had to do what you had to do. So
you guys were able to scale up and build a team before most people were, because you understood some marketing concepts that gave you an advantage over others.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move into, when did you guys realize that maybe, you know, I'm working by referral, when you need to start like getting a CRM, or when you need to get like a spreadsheet and start putting names of people in there, and you probably should stay in touch with people if you're not ready to buy or sell a home yet. Tell me about that realization, that process, and when did that dawn on you that maybe you should do that?
I mean, for me, it was like right away. You know, like it was, you know, at first it was a spreadsheet, and then I was like, okay, I got to research and find something that will help keep me organized. And I signed up for Top Producer. And then, I don't know, somehow I heard about the Brian Buffini system, and I started to use that with all of the, you know, the people that were in the Top Producer. And that, I mean, it worked out okay. But as the database was growing, it became more and more difficult to manage that type of system.
With personal touches, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, even still to this day, we still do use some of those Buffini concepts within our team and our marketing.
So I think, and then recapping that, in the beginning we screwed up and made a whole crap load of mistakes. What we're telling people today, start with the end in mind. You got to manage your database from day one. Because for me, it was like, if I didn't join Adrienne's team, I had, you know, probably 10 or 15 clients at that point, and then those are potential clients, but I didn't have any system. It was like, hey, great, you know, I helped them avoid foreclosure, blah, 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 you know, that was it. And I didn't have any system to follow up with that client, stay in touch with them, any of that stuff till I joined Adrienne's team. And then we just started putting everything into the pot and into Top Producer and creating the client appreciation events. I think that was like from day one, right? It was like at the beach and a keg of beer and, you know, 50 to 60 people. And we didn't know what the heck we were doing. We did it at a rec center, and we had somebody come out and do face painting, and we played what's that one where you go underneath the thing? Did you go like that?
Limbo.
Oh,
The limbo. We had the limbo contest. I mean, that was our client appreciation party. It was just total, just flying by the seat of our pants. But I think just the fact that we had a client appreciation party, and even if it was just a keg down at the beach, that was about 10 times more than what other agents were doing, because they didn't do anything with their past clients. Even still today, you know, a ton of our business comes from our orphan clients, because most agents aren't staying in touch with their clients, which is a critical miss.
So let me ask you this. So tactically, what would you recommend for a new agent? And what do you guys do now where you're at your level? How do you build your database? And like, how do you define a database? How do you build it?
Well, tactically for a new agent, you know, I know that on our team, before they can start.
Here's the, I'm sorry, Adrienne, but here's the one thing that I always hear about people that talk about databases and the systems.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter which one you use, just use something.
Or like the software you put the names into.
Yeah, just use something that's going to organize you. Any of them, just use anything. It doesn't matter which one. Because I'll tell you right now, I had a conversation, we're getting into commercial real estate with an agent that's been in the business 40 years. 40 years. You know how much our contacts are worth? They're worth millions.
Yeah.
You know what our database is? This is like today, 2017. Contacts in her phone, business cards in a shoebox, and sticky notes near her computer. This is today. She's been in the business 40 years.
Oh, what a missed opportunity.
Yeah, so we're going to go in and organize her. We're following the book called The Golden Handoff, and we're going to organize her database, and that's how we're going to take her 40 years of contacts. And just imagine, it would be worth even more today if it was organized, because we probably end up paying her more, giving her referral fees over a long period of time. But because she's so disorganized or didn't even bother to do it, that it's been a lost opportunity for her, but we're going to come back and do that. So don't be surprised how you know, you think that people being in this business for a long time know what they're doing, but they don't. So even you as a brand new agent with today's technology and what people are teaching, if you just get a basic CRM, you're miles ahead of the other agents that aren't doing anything.
So what we do on our team as a new team member, you've got to come up with at least 100 names of people that you know. You could just use a simple Google spreadsheet: name, phone number, email,
address,
how do you know them, and you just got to start somewhere. I know it can sound a little overwhelming, but you got to start.
No.
You got to start putting your list together and creating those touch points with those people who want to see you succeed.
Well, forget about the touching part. Let's talk about the tactical part. If you're a brand new agent, you don't have any money or a blank to pee in, is literally, like Adrienne said, everybody's got Gmail. Google Docs are free.
Yep.
You create a spreadsheet, first name, last name, address, phone number, email, how you know them. That can all be converted into a CVS file and dropped into whatever CRM you're going to use down the road. But start the spreadsheet now, and you'd be surprised. I think today the challenge that people run into is that we really only interact with people because they're friends with us on Facebook, but we haven't formalized that relationship with data points. And I think that people have to, from day one, get that wedding list, get that Christmas card list, get that list from wherever you work, at clubs, organizations.
Your high school graduation list.
Yeah, go on Facebook, start telling people.
Isn't that weird for someone new to reach out to all those people and say, I'm selling real estate? I mean, that's kind of a limiting belief you have to get over to reconnect with all those people, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's people are like, but what we teach is our mindset is that, hey, you know what? You are like a superhero, and you are providing a high level and a good service, whether you're brand new or joining a team or some brokerage that's going to help you do that. And you know what I tell my agents? It's your responsibility to go out there and save them from a horrible real estate experience. If your mindset is like that I'm there to help them and save them from a horrible real estate experience, it's going to be easy to make those phone calls.
And then also, too, if they're plugged into a team or they've got a great mentor, that they've got the borrowed credibility. So even if you are brand new, you still have that opportunity to borrow that credibility with your database.
Yeah.
How does someone grow their database once they reconnect, let's say, with the people that they know, and they round up their contacts, and they reconnect them in some way? How does someone continue to build the database of the right people?
I guess I would say the first thing is you got to make sure that you have a dedicated discipline to put your existing clients in it. Number two is anybody that you meet for any kind of reason whatsoever. We're getting business cards all the time, and don't let that get away from you. You meet somebody today and you get their business card. How many business cards do I have on my desk of people that I've met, Adrienne?
None.
Zero, because I take that business card and I put that information into my database and I throw the business card away immediately. And you got to have that habit that when you meet people, that's what you do. You know, I met somebody at the gym today and they gave me their phone number, or I immediately put it into my database. I don't wait, because literally that sticky note, if the commission's $10,000, you got to look at that business card. That sticky note, that piece of information is 10 grand, and you got to do something with it now.
We want them to be getting our videos right away.
Yeah.
You don't want to delay that. So.
Good. Well, we'll get to that. So,
Okay.
So it sounds like we have to reconnect with your existing list. We have to have some plan to, like, whenever you meet someone, to ask permission to stay in touch, to bring them into your database. And you can put that contact information wherever you want.
Yes.
Right? What do you send them? Now it's like, okay, I got this list of people. What do I send them? It's not going to be embarrassing, or they're going to think it's junk, or costs, frequency. What do you send? What's the plan? What would you recommend?
You know, I mean, for us, the big one is the viral video. I mean, it's. I know you're interviewing us, and we're not getting paid to do this interview. And the listeners out there, if you sign up with Frank, great. If you don't sign up with Frank, then that's your loss.
Yeah.
But it's so simple in the fact that, you know, when people want information, there's 3 ways they get it on the internet. They're gonna read something, they're gonna look at static photos, or they want to watch a video. Number one is people want to watch a video. And what we find is that we just are very intentional in that we utilize viral video to create these videos. And just like anything, you got to take action, you got to do it, because a lot of people will sign up for your service and they won't do the videos. You can't help them if they won't do the videos.
Nope.
We do the videos. And
we come up with interesting content, interesting topics. Sometimes it has to do with real estate. Sometimes it has to do with something that's going on in the community. Could be
something humorous.
Or like a mindset. So there's all sorts of things that we like to send out that will be valuable to our database. And we have fun with it too. I think people enjoy getting the videos. And if they don't, then, you know, we stop sending them.
Yeah.
It's easy, too easy.
I think the challenge with the database, okay, so this one, and for your listeners, write this down. 70% of your income is going to come from your follow-up. I'll repeat that. 70% of your income is going to come from your follow-up. And follow-up isn't just necessarily calling someone and say, hey, do you know anybody who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? It's just coming to them with something of value or interest that keeps you top of mind, so that the 87% of the time when they don't need your services, that when they do, they're remembering you and calling you, emailing you, or texting you. And I think that's what viral video does. It allows us to help us stay, not in an obnoxious way, but in a helpful way, top of mind.
Cool. That's exactly what it is, right? So let's talk about how you guys come up with some topics for your videos. Tell me some topics that work well, that someone could say, okay, I can actually see myself creating a topic around this that people actually find of value.
Mm-hmm.
Give me some topics that work well for you.
Well, I think drilling it down even further, it's the subject lines. It's the subject lines.
You guys are good at this. Why don't you tell the audience kind of your strategy behind the subject lines of the emails that go out that promote people to get people to watch the video?
You know, I think one of them was that, you know, just talking about having a very organized marketing plan for a luxury property. So that's the gist of the video, but the subject line was luxury agent gets fired. And
that was like the biggest opening we ever had.
You know, a luxury agent gets fired because people were like, oh, what happened?
Yeah.
And they want to click and find out. And then basically we said, here's all the things that you need to do so you don't get fired as a luxury agent. But it makes people, it creates, you know, the subject line is just like any piece of marketing. What's that call to action? The call to action with these videos is the subject line, and the subject line call to action is to get them to open it.
And you gotta
look at it.
Just cut through the clutter, you know, with the subject line, and then once they do open it, there's usually a valuable message in there, and we keep it short, usually like a minute to a minute and a half, because people's attention spans are really not that long.
You know what? We had moved our office, so we wanted to let everybody know where our new office was, and the subject line was Team Lally buys a pineapple under the sea. You know, from SpongeBob. And one of them was, you know, just we always do the pie in the face, and our tagline was to make, you know, it was your last real estate experience like working with SpongeBob SquarePants, and just talking about all the things, all the misses, all the horrible things that we realtors do, and how we don't do that. And I think the video that really clicks with people is when they're watching it and they're like, yeah, been there. I know what he means.
And we also like to include other businesses that are within the community. So, you know, we've had our insurance agent talk about, you know, hurricane and flood insurance and the difference, and, you know, how important it is to have proper insurance. We've had our probate attorneys talking about having, you know, the trust and, like, you know, how to protect yourself from probate. So, you know, we like to bring on
other experts.
Yeah, other experts, and educate our database.
That was a key one right there, Frank. You were asking what kind of topics. You don't feel you're an expert? Go interview experts.
Yeah.
And then while you're what we found too is when we're interviewing the experts, we're actually developing a relationship and building our database, because that owner is like, wow.
And then they're sharing the video.
Yeah. And
then they're in our database, so it's a win-win.
Yes, it becomes viral.
Let's take a look at your YouTube channel. I'll pull up here. You see it?
Yep.
I'll bring this down so it's good size here. Out there. So, you guys, you have your listing videos.
Mm-hmm.
You publish some seller tips. Look at you guys.
Oh, this one with the sunglasses. Somebody commented and said that you're not as trustworthy when you guys are wearing sunglasses, because we had done one outside, so we actually did one with sunglasses.
Yeah, look at all these nice videos, all these nice screenshots. Look at you guys. This is great. You guys are on the radio, so you filmed your radio show and put it up online. I see. Right. Some other videos you uploaded. Let's see. Let's check out what your most popular video is. You ready? Let's find out.
Most popular.
Your Barbara Corcoran endorsement. I believe we ran some ads on for a while, right? Where Barbara Corcoran of Shark Tank endorses you. And selling in the holiday season has 4,000 views. I think maybe some of these we put some money into Facebook on. I think I remember, right?
Yeah.
But for anybody watching this, I guess Adrienne Lally is the name of the channel, and anyone can go there and see your videos and check it out and go to your website and see more, which is pretty cool.
I think we were talking with one of your clients, a Vyral client, and they were asking us, and they said they looked at it. And here's the one comment they made: it really looks like you guys are having fun doing it, because he wasn't. He was dreading doing it, and that was his biggest takeaway from us, is that we made it fun. And nobody, I don't care what you do, if you're not enjoying doing it, you're not. And Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs, he gave the best advice. Go do something you're passionate about, because that's very rare that people can find something that you're passionate about. Whatever you're doing, bring passion to it. And I think that's what we do with our videos, is we bring passion to the video. Nobody's like, I want to shoot videos. But we have fun with it, and we're passionate about it. And I think that comes through the screen, the little computer screens, to people and why they want to watch it.
And then when we make mistakes, we save them and we create the little blooper reels.
To show people we're real and we're not perfect.
That's the important thing. It's not like you guys are publishing some amazing content that really hasn't been said before or something. It's about people getting to know you and seeing your personality and liking you and trusting you, just wanting to do business with you, which is why video is so powerful. I'm not looking for you to write a dissertation here in real estate.
Yeah.
It's about showing who you are more than it is providing this super in-depth, profound content, let's say.
Yeah, one of our formula rules is it's not more than a minute. It's literally a minute. If we want to provide more detailed information, they can go below and click on the written content to go deep for the high C's. But most people out there just want the quick and dirty, something short and sweet. If I want more information, I'll click below and get more information. But they don't want a documentary.
So let me ask you this. We saw videos on there had 10 views, 15 views, 30 views. Someone might say, your videos aren't getting lots of views. It must not be working. What do you say to that?
Maybe they're not pushing them out enough. Like you're not putting them in the right places. If you can take your videos and you can put them on social media, on LinkedIn, in your email signature block. So I don't think we've ever had that little amount of views. We're always, we're pushing it out to all different places.
You know what, I look at it this way though. If somebody gets only like 10 or 15 views, if one of those people is looking to buy or sell a home, then the ROI is well worth it, and you just don't know.
Yeah,
so whether it's
you just need one.
Yeah, and even if it's 10 or 15 people, that's better than spending, a ton of money on a bunch of postcards where nobody's reading them, zero, or you don't even know.
And it's there forever too. So who knows, like that video may pop up in a search and the views may grow over time as well.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. If you did 100 postcard mailouts, where are those 100 postcards today? They're in the landfill. If you do 100 videos, it's like you've got these fishing poles out there on YouTube.
Even if you just had a few views, who knows, maybe a year from now or 2 years from now, that's going to be a relevant topic for somebody who wants an answer. And then they're going
to join your team. We've had a lot of people look at all our videos and it wasn't even for the purpose of recruiting, but they're like, I see your videos and it looks like you guys have a lot of fun. I want to come join your team. Or you're giving back in the community.
So I think what's important, what I want to share here is that these videos are promoted proactively to your database. They're emailed to your database. They're posted on social media. I think you put a little bit of money into them to get a boost on social media to get more visibility, right? It's not so much about getting found online. It's more about pushing it out to your existing database through media. So, but the other way I'm asking that question is, for somebody that can't wrap their head around this, I want to spend some time on this question. How in the world does doing this make you money? for somebody who has just spent their whole time grinding phone calls to strangers all day long. They're trying to wrap their head around this is all puffery marketing BS, let's say, that doesn't work, where the money's made in just prospecting and calling. How do you know this makes money, and how do you know this brings in business?
I think it goes hand in hand with the prospecting and calling, because if that person, and this has happened to us before, when we're making circle dials, these people, may or may not be in our database. Maybe they've seen us on Facebook or LinkedIn, but they're familiar already with our brand and our team. So even though we thought maybe this is a cold call, it was actually more of a warm call. So I think doing the videos and getting out in your community digitally is going to be helpful when you're doing the prospecting. They're going to make that connection.
Jeff Blount in the book Fanatical Prospecting, write that one down, Fanatical Prospecting, go get that book now. He says all of your marketing that's out there is building what we call familiarity, so that when you are grinding on the phones, they're going to be like, oh yeah, I saw your video. Oh yeah, I saw this other marketing. So doing the videos, it may not necessarily, pinging someone's head and I'm going to pick up the phone and you guys are going to list my house for sale. But it's building that familiarity so that when you do get them on the phone, they've been pinged on by a video, or they passively went to go take a look at you as opposed to you proactively coming towards them. So it works hand in hand in making them more open to the phone calls that you're sending their way.
So do you find that prospecting calls are easier for your team? Like your lead follow-up calls, like when you say your name, people know who you are? I mean, how's that helping?
It's funny because as a team, we're going through that book, The Fanatical Prospecting. And one of our newer team members, he had this, this light go off. He goes, we're not making any cold calls. We're actually making warm calls. Every single call that they're making is a warm call because of the amount of marketing that, that we're doing. Most likely these people have been touched by our video, by our radio ads, by some form of our marketing. And he felt so fortunate to be able to be making those kind of calls. He's okay with making cold calls, but he didn't really, it all kind of clicked. Like, wow, we're making a ton of warm calls.
If you're just grinding out the phone calls and you don't do any other the marketing, it's kind of like you're running a race every single time you get on the phone, and you're not developing any equity or conditioning or things that make those calls easier if you don't do these parallel forms of marketing like the viral video. So you said it the best with that person. He said, I'm not making any phone calls. I'm making warm connections with people who already know us.
And then through the viral marketing, you guys have always coached us to also call the open list. So we know whoever's.
What's the open list?
So we get a report of who's opened the emails or who's clicked. So we know the level of engagement from our database, and anyone that's had any kind of level of engagement, we're calling them and thanking them for for watching the video. And is there anything else that you'd like to see in future topics, and just taking that initiative to have the additional engagement with the database.
I think listeners need to realize is that there isn't any magic bullet out there that's going to say this marketing got somebody to pick up the phone, they listed their home with me, and I made X dollars. It's all working in combination or layers of marketing working together that allows you to establish that connection, stay top of mind, and have them use you as a real estate team. It's all interconnected and makes it easier as opposed to just doing prospecting.
How else? How else is this making money? How do you know what you're making?
Well, we run contests at times too for additional engagements.
Yeah, but 33% of your business came from your database.
Yeah.
And that's what? What's a third of 175?
Yeah.
17, 34, 50 about, right? More than 50?
Yeah.
At least.
So an average selling price of $550,000, 3% commission, that's a good amount of money that's coming from that database, And I think it's very probable if you weren't staying in touch with that, they would forget about you or go use somebody else, or you wouldn't have the information for clicking on that stuff to prioritize some phone call follow-up to get them involved with you, as opposed to maybe putting it off or even using somebody else. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. Good. So you mentioned, so we talked about a little bit reconnecting with your existing database.
Mm-hmm.
A brand new agent needs to ramp their existing contacts. And then we talked about how you need to grow your database by talking to people. I want to go a little bit back now. We talked about the videos, back to that step of building your database. Beyond just like randomly meeting people, any proactive reach out strategies you would recommend for a new agent to build their database? Beyond just going through the day and asking for contacts of asking for the contact information people they just kind of run into?
The first one I recommend it's go meet people that are easy to meet and want to meet you and want to provide their contact information to you, and that's other business owners.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can just go in there and just say, hey, I'm a brand new realtor, I want to know a little bit more about your business, and use you as a resource for my clients, then that would be the first one. I mean, one of the things we teach is we give you 100 index cards, and we want you to go get the contact information of 100 business people.
Yep, we got that from the Diana Kokoska in Bold. So that's a really good exercise to build your database. And then, going to the networking events. That's always helpful to go where other business people are, and they also want to meet people. So if you're going to the networking events and just are very intentional about who you're meeting and the kind of conversations that you're having, and it shouldn't be like, oh, how can you help me? It's going to, the conversation goes like, how can I help you grow your business? So coming from the abundance mindset and helping them to grow their business, and most likely you may be able to create a video around them, or like for us, we invite them to be on our radio show, and again, that's additional content.
Well, let's talk to the widest appeal of a listener right now. There's 3 things you can do. Number 1 is go meet business people, because they'll give you their business. Go to their businesses and meet them.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is that you go to networking events. There's free ones every day of the week. There's somebody who's having some kind of networking event. You just go online and find them. So I'd be going at a networking event every day of the week. And then the third one is, either if you don't have them, you find somebody in your brokerage that has a vacant listing, and I will be sitting open houses every Saturday and Sunday. You do that for 6 months, and you can go from 0 to having a huge database.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Why don't people do this? If it makes sense, I think anyone can get behind this. Let's talk about the time. Let's talk about the cost. Let's talk about fear. All right. How much time does it take for you to sit back and shoot these videos and create this content?
Well, let's see, like the prep time for the scripts.
I think the big thing for us is everything we teach is systems and processes.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what we do, whether it's shooting a video, a listing presentation, recruiting, doing our radio show, we have a checklist, we have an outline, and we save it as a Google Doc, and then we just redo it. So
just change the content up. So maybe like a half hour, right, for the prep.
Yes.
And then maybe 5 or 10 minutes to shoot the video, depending on how many takes that we have to do.
But 2 pieces of paper,
but that's not bad. That's pretty fast.
Yeah, what we're going to talk about, and then the second sheet is just any kind of like
special instructions,
CG, computer graphics we want, any highlights of specific topics, any hyperlinks, what we want the subject line of the email to be, and what we want the subject line of the video, the title of the video to be. Boom, that's it. I forgot who it said, anything that you do over and over and over, you should have a system and a process for it.
But it wasn't always that streamlined, it's been a process for us to get there. I think when we first started, it probably took a little bit longer.
If anybody's listening to this and they send us an email, we'll be happy to share our 2-page, what we say, and then what we want to be done with what we say.
It's good. Okay. Yeah. We'll give out your contact information here at the end. I'm also sure it's pretty easy to find. So the time isn't much. I mean, when you have a busy day and you're trying to make money and build a business, and it's time to shoot your video, how do you get excited about it? Not just like, I'm just going to blow this off and not do it because the money's so far ahead. Like, instead of you thinking about the return right here in front of your face, that's right now. I mean, you've been able to kind of think further down the road. How do you hold yourself accountable actually getting these videos and not blowing them off and never doing them?
Well, I think it's just part of,
into a habit.
yeah, it's just part of our process. You know, it's like we have our, you know, our accountability meetings, we have our team meetings, you know, we have our prospecting, we do our masterminds, we do our videos. Like, it's just part of our, you know, our schedule. It's just.
And a lot of it too is you got a time block for it and put it on your schedule. So we make these scheduled appointments, and as we've heard other people say, sometimes the most important appointment that you need to keep is the one with yourself. And putting these videos on your schedule is an appointment with yourself. And you got to think of it as an appointment that you set with a friend to meet for coffee. You're not going to blow them off and not meet them for coffee. That's the same thing with shooting these videos. You've got to set it in your schedule, and you've got to treat it like any other appointment.
Sure. Okay. Money. Let's talk about money.
Sure.
There's a cost to this. I obviously talked about time, but you hired Vyral Marketing. We handle all of it, and it's no secret. It's on our website. It costs, you know, a build fee, and then $550 a month is what we charge at the time of this recording to execute all this. So what is that, like $6,600 a year or something?
Yeah.
Why is that money worth it? Why do you spend that money? And why did you go the contracted out to Vyral route as opposed to giving it to an assistant or hiring someone on staff? Let's talk about the financial aspects of this and how you think about it so you know that it's worth it to you.
It's leverage.
You know what though? We do have someone on our staff that could do this. But
we don't have
but instead we have him helping us to, you know, to make it even bigger, because you guys are the experts. You know what's working. You're on the cutting edge. You keep us organized. You know, you're continuing to help us innovate. So, like, as far as the investment, it's probably one of the best ROIs that we get in our business, as far as the amount of money with the amount of, you know, return that's coming from it.
Yeah, I think it's about leverage and getting more out of it than, because for $550 a month, you'd have to hire somebody on staff, and I think for what you guys provide, it's like
having a staff person.
That would be like paying somebody $40,000-$50,000 a year just to do that,
mm-hmm.
and we get it for a tenth of the cost. And because you guys have all the editors, and then when we have our once a month coaching call with Laura,
mm-hmm.
our Vyral coach, we're talking about, it's an active coaching learning opportunity with our videos on what we can do. She's always saying, hey, here's a top, this one's getting a big, huge open rate, and checking it out.
And we have goals like what percentage that we want to have for the open rates, and we're constantly testing different strategies to improve. So, you know, I think it's not only just like marketing and technology. You guys also provide the coaching with, you know, with the program. You know, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, they gotta, you know, it's like you get all these things, but if you don't utilize them, it's not the fault of the provider that you're not getting the best bang for your buck. It's because you're not
plugging in.
You're not plugging in and utilizing all the features and benefits of it. So it's well worth it.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. I recommend you guys go to their YouTube channel and check out the stuff that they published, as well as their video blog. Just Google Team Lally video blog. You'll see kind of how they're all positioned on the website that's been built for them. I'm sure it'll pop up online. But I want to kind of take these last 10 minutes or so here to kind of shift gears a bit, because you guys just on a webinar with me for our clients on how to use this for recruiting. Because
mm-hmm.
you mentioned in your write-up that you sent me here before this with notes that you have so much leads and so many inquiries, you just don't have the people to help you out to reach out to all of them. So let's talk about how you plan on using the same principles of Vyral marketing, of building a recruiting database, a talent database, communicating with the talent database, making offers to it, inviting them to an event, setting appointments. There's not much different than working buyers and sellers this way. So tell me what your plan is after today, but what you plan on doing to increase your bench of talent using some of the principles of what we share here at Vyral Marketing here on this webinar.
Well, we do have a career blog as well with Vyral marketing, and I think we've done okay with creating content and videos. Probably not as intentional or as much as we should, because it's so important to always be looking for talent and growing that bench, and adding agents or potential agents to that mailing list. So we're definitely going to be doing more videos, more focused on attracting people to.
Frank, I'm excited about the plan that you're talking about, utilizing this video blog and video to help with our recruitment. That's a very detailed, intentional plan that we're going to be working on for the next multiple
like 6 months, yeah.
And just like anything that has a high level of importance, you're going to have to put into it and pour into it. And bringing on a new team member doesn't give you a closed transaction the next day. However, bringing on a client gives you a closed transaction then, but then that's just one transaction. Bringing on a team member may be worth 20 to 30 to 40 transactions a year for you, but just putting the effort into that one team member. So I think recruiting through this video process is going to be even better ROI than getting end-use clients, because we're going to get the people that help. Because right now, like I said, it's a good problem to have. We have a ton of leads, but we need the team members to help us follow up with those leads to turn them into transactions, which turns it into income.
Love it.
We're excited.
All right. Let's talk about some tips you can give to somebody that's a viral marketing client that's not getting results. I mean, they're just like, man, I'm sending these videos out and no one's talking to me. No one's calling me. No one watches these things. You guys have been clients for a while, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of our clients over the years and what they do. What are some of the most common, literally, like, be real, like, what are some of those common mistakes you see that's like, you look at another one of our clients who their stuff, you're like, oh man, or you talk to one of our other clients that and you're like, they're not quite sold on the philosophy, let's say.
Yeah.
What are the most common mistakes that you see? Or maybe if one of your agents in your team were to get involved, what would you warn them to avoid and not fall down a trap of?
Let's see, like the long, boring videos. Keep them short. Like, don't have like some 5-10 minute video. Like, that's just too long.
Shoot them on your phone if you need to, but get out somewhere else and do a different background. But I want to go back to what Frank's question, or his question. You're doing the videos and you feel like you're not getting any kind of responses or anything. You know what? I think the big mistake that you do is just because you're not getting an immediate response, that I think the challenge is that your expectations of I do this marketing and I get an immediate response is not accurate.
So change your expectations.
Change your expectation. Doing these videos is like working out. We go through our whole lives in terrible shape, and then we go to the gym and we want to work out like crazy 2 or 3 days, and we're in this awful pain, and we don't see any results. We look in the mirror and like, nothing's happened, and I got all this pain, and then we quit. Well, that's not how working out works, and that's not how these videos work either. I would say at minimum, I would say working out and doing these videos is very similar. Don't expect any results for at least a couple of weeks with working out, and to make the timeline more appropriate to these viral videos, 1 year. I would say, and that's literally been our rule of thumb. Anytime we committed to any type of new program,
at least a year. Regardless
of the results, we committed to it for 1 year. And because it's kind of like, I don't know, it's this momentum and this equity and this familiarity. At minimum, you've had to have done 2 videos a month, not 1 video a month, but at least 2. So at least created 24 videos. And if you're ambitious, do 2 or 3 a month. It's not that hard. Do 1 a week. But I would challenge anybody that's listening to this, and you did this for a year, and you shot a video every week with your guys' guidance and followed the game plan, I would be very surprised that it didn't work, that you didn't get. And let's say you got 1 listing. For us, that's $15,000. If we just got 1 listing, we get a lot more than that. But that's what I would say is the expectation is that, I do this and nothing's happening. I was like, well, you know, are your videos boring? Are you doing them on a consistent basis? Are you following up? Are you opening the click report?
Do you have a fun subject line?
I would be very surprised if anybody did everything and it didn't work. I think it's the clients that aren't doing anything, and that's why it's not working.
Work the plan.
Yeah.
This is great, guys.
So
Thank you. I really,
sure.
if anything, kind of people get to know your behavior style and your personality style. You're definitely not salespeople. I mean, that's a piece of who you are, but you are business people and marketers. And I bet if I interview your team, they really enjoy working for you guys.
Sure.
Your authenticity comes through. I always enjoyed interviewing you. Where can people go to kind of see all your stuff? What are you proud of? Where should people go to see you online?
Well, if you go to teamlally.com, everything there is about us. We're particularly proud of a lot of the community work that we do. And it's funny because we started to unintentionally, like we're like attracting and recruiting agents. They want to come work with us because of
Two things. They see how much fun we have,
yeah,
and they see our involvement in the community.
yeah.
And how
So
do they get a sense for that? From the videos.
from the videos that we do, so like we do a lot of work with a local nonprofit, Project Hawaii, and part of our again, like we tied into our marketing, and we credit this from Nick Shivers with his Sell a Home Save a Child, which we are part of, and they contribute to that. And those are children from all over the world that that we help. But we also have a Sell a Home Save a Keiki, which is a child in Hawaiian, and we work with Project Hawaii, and we give them a piece of every transaction to help support the homeless kids that are right here in our backyard.
Yeah. Well, go to teamlally.com. That's how you get a sense of who we are. It's all there.
But that's what we are very proud of what we do and how we help Project Hawaii. And that was Frank's question.
Sure.
So make sure to check that out.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a real estate agent, maybe in another community, check out the Sell a Home Save a Child, and get involved. It's important to give back.
Wonderful. So thank you guys for your time today. And I want to thank you for watching this. If you are interested in getting started with the marketing plan that Adrienne and Attilio have implemented for their team to duplicate the same process, philosophy, and results, go to getvyral.com and download the official video marketing plan on the homepage of our website. That's where it all starts. And then check out our website for examples and how it works. Because if you need some help with the implementation, that's why I started Vyral Marketing. It was originally for myself. You'll get, a little backstory of why Vyral Marketing exists. And you can also request a free strategy session where we'll just talk and plan out what your topics would be and how this would work to see if this even makes sense for you and your profession and your niche of publishing videos to even do anything for you. If you're a professional service provider, which is really what this plan is best used for. And if you sign up, there's also a 30-day no-risk trial, so you pay the build fee. And if for any reason you're not happy with our service, whatever, I don't care what the reason is, you can get a full refund within 30 days of our system. So you can see what it's like to work with us and get on video and see if you can like it. All right. So I want to thank both of you so much. Thank you so much for attending. Go to getvyral.com. You can watch more of these interviews here on our YouTube channel about how our clients are implementing the models and systems we teach here at Vyral Marketing to get more business from your number one asset, which is your database, by publishing helpful, useful educational information to position you as an expert and to attract people to you. That was a mouthful, but that's what it is. All right. So thank you guys so much. One right there.